long term, my plans are hopefully to medically transition, go into testosterone, get top surgery, things like that. So that's what I'm thinking now. I'm not fully settled on it, but I know I probably want to go on testosterone and things like that. So it's gonna be a journey, and that's why I wanted to start this before any of that happens. I'm going to be starting testosterone soon. You know that kind of like nervous excitement when you're absolutely terrified for something, but you also like cannot wait for it to happen. You've been waiting for this moment for so long. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of been how I've been feeling this entire process. I've never really had any doubts about starting testosterone. I've wanted to be on this since I was like 14. And like since I first started transitioning, yeah, I'm really excited. The thing I'm looking forward to the most with testosterone is obviously the voice drop. Who isn't, honestly? I think that would definitely be the best part of it. Facial hair. I have a very sad, pathetic mustache currently. I think it's going to be a really exciting process, and I can't wait to share this with you guys. I cannot wait. I don't know how many times I've said this already, but I can't wait.
Hello. Welcome. Today I am 1 year on testosterone, which is honestly something I never thought I would be able to say. It's so crazy. I put some clips in this introduction from previous videos on this channel with me talking about my experience getting here. But generally when I say me in that first clip that you saw would just not believe the fact that I'm sitting here today and recording this. Like, it is so insane to have been able to have got to this position, and I'm very grateful for it. I know that for so many people this opportunity is very limited and very hard to get, but this has genuinely been the best decision I've ever made. I knew going into it that it's something that I really, really wanted, and now a year later, I still would say very confidently that I have absolutely zero regrets about my decision. This video is going to be very similar to the rest of my testosterone updates, but more of a full overview of the past year and a lot more time spent on the emotional changes and more talking about my journey through this, some advice and words of encouragement for younger trans people who may be starting out on this journey and are scared. Disclaimer that this is just my experience on testosterone. Testosterone affects everybody differently. Changes will happen at different paces for different people or to different extents. It all depends on your genetics. So this is just my experience. Please don't take this as like the entirety of the trans community's experience. It's not at all. All individual and all interpret things in our own ways. And this is just my journey. So we'll start off with a little introduction into my testosterone journey, type of gel I'm on, things like that. Move to physical changes, emotional changes, and some NSFW changes right at the very end. I started testosterone on the 1st of February 2025, so this is coming out a bit later than my actual testosterone day. I've genuinely been sitting here for the past 2 weeks. Is the 14th on the day that I'm recording this, but I've genuinely been sitting here unsure on how to make this video, because in my head this is such a big milestone moment. I want this video to be so perfect and cover absolutely everything, and making sure that this video has absolutely all my thoughts and feelings in it. And usually I would script something like this, and I was going to, which is why I have not recorded this for so long. But I generally sat down and I wrote out the bullet points, and I was like, this video will be so much more meaningful if I just sit here and talk from my heart about this experience rather than just reading off a script for 20 minutes. So that's what I'm doing. So if it does feel a little bit all over the place and not the most structured, That is why. It's because I have bullet points, especially for like the changes, because I will forget if I don't. But other than that, I will just be speaking from my heart on everything. Yeah, it may not be as structured as I'd hope, and I may miss some things out, but I think this is the best way to do it. So I went through gender hormone clinic to get my testosterone. I talk about this in like my starting testosterone video, so if you want to hear more, I will link that video and the entire playlist up in the corner now for you guys to click on. But I had one appointment with a gender psychologist, Laura Scarron, um, prior to going to the gender hormone clinic. Then I had one online appointment with them, which basically I was just going through like my like medical history and like expectations and things for starting testosterone. And then the end of January last year, I had my in clinic appointment. Basically, you go, they do like health checks, you talk for a bit, you sign a bunch of documents to say that you like understand the process and like you consent to everything. And then, yeah, a few days later, I started testosterone. Dental Hormone Clinic is genuinely been such a great place. They are so supportive. If you need anything, if you have any concerns, you can reach out by email really easily. It is very expensive. It is private healthcare. I will put on screen now my expenses. I have not had shared care at all, so this has all been kind of out of me and my parents' pockets. Um, I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, so it'll be inserted. But it is a very expensive process, and I'm very grateful to be able to afford it and to have got started literally just after I turned 18. I started on Testogel around 10 months. I switched to Testovan. They are both gel forms of testosterone. They're both very similar. I have not really noticed any difference switching to Testovan. It is just cheaper. So the Gender Hormone Clinic decided that they're switching everybody over to it. Which is really nice because it costs like a significant amount less. It saves a lot of money for everybody who can't get shared care. My dose is 2 pumps. It stayed that way through Testosterone and Testovan, and I've found gel very good for me. There's literally only one reason, which I will talk about later on, in which I would switch from gel to like injections. For the most part, gel has been really good. I am disabled. I have to take injection medications for other things, so not having to have the extra injectable medication has been really useful. I have not had my 1 year appointment with the gender clinic yet. I've been fighting with my GP to try and get shared care, so I was kind of hoping that I would get that before, but now they are claiming that they never got sent the letter about shared care. They said that they can do it, but they've never seen the email. So that's fun for me. But I've booked blood tests for a place in London who do free blood tests for trans patients. So that would be really nice. But they only had appointments for like mid-March. So my my 1 year appointment is gonna be closer to like 1 year, 2 months. Unless I get told that it needs to be sooner. I was not organized enough for the wait time on this blood test. I don't really want to pay like 180 quid out of pocket for a blood test. It is a little insane. Let's move on to the physical changes. There is a lot of them. There is a lot of them. I'm going to try and go like head to toe as I usually do, and also give kind of like a general gist of like when these changes happened for me. So starting up top, hair. My hair texture has completely changed since starting testosterone. You'll see in the old clips that my hair is like very straight. Um, my hair was very curly when it before cutting it short. So when it's longer, my hair is a lot longer now. It's like full mullet, but it's gone back to like the real like proper curls, and it's definitely got a different texture. My hair's always been very thick, but I don't know how to describe it. Coarser, maybe. It also gets greasier faster. The texture change was something I noticed like really early on, within like possibly even the first month. I think I noted it, but like the curl definition and everything became so noticeable by like 9 months. Like when looking back on pictures throughout the months and just see my hair get curlier and curlier as it goes on. It's definitely also slightly to do with the fact that it is longer. My hairline has also squared out quite a bit. It's definitely like further back and more square than rounded now. I genuinely I have no notes on when that happened. It's been very slow and very gradual, and I think just looking compared to like Pretty to like 1 year, it's been so much more noticeable. But I don't really have a timestamp for when that happened. It's just a very slow process. Moving down eyebrows. My eyebrows have definitely got thicker. They've filled in like underneath here. I always had very thick eyebrows, but yeah, again, that's something I noticed very quickly, especially in the past like 6 months, I would say. Like there was a noticeable difference between like 6 months and now, of just like the bottom bits filling in a lot more. Facial hair, which is something I was very excited for you to. My mustache is still quite patchy, but I like it. I shaved it off once and I regretted it again. It's just something that gives me so much euphoria. I could grow facial hair a little bit, like to a visible degree, but not like as thick as this. Pretty. Yeah, I like it. It might be a little pathetic and patchy, but I'm glad I am capable of growing it. I also have very patchy. I haven't shaved in a few days to see if you could see it more. Um, very patchy little like beard hairs down the sideburns, especially like random patches. There's a patch there that you can't see, and like a bigger one here. They're less visible, but I can feel them. I also have very dark hairs, so they are. It is more noticeable. Under here as well tends to get quite a lot, but it's definitely too sporadic, and I do have to shave quite consistently now. All of the like chin hair stuff was only within the past like few months, whereas I noticed like the mustache hairs and like this bit of the sideburns coming in at around 3 months, which I think is quite early to notice like facial hair changes. There's a lot of facial changes. To realize like the first page of my physical change notes are all like ones to do with my face. Um Acne, I've never got that bad acne, but it's kind of had phases. Sometimes it's worse than others, but it's never been something that has been too bad. On my face at least. We'll talk about other kinds of acne later. The skin on my face gets redder a lot faster, is rougher, and also gets greasier easily. Like especially like under my glasses, like here, this gets so greasy so quickly, and that was never something I had to deal with pretty. My face shape has definitely like squared out a little bit from pretty. It's not like the most noticeable thing as I was going through like the process, but like comparison wise, a year on, I it's definitely changed. It's not something I've ever been able to pinpoint, but I think like around like 9 months, I was like, yeah, there's definitely been something that's changed. I don't know what exactly. I'll add some pictures in now. Here's like pretty 6 months, 1 year. And yeah, you can have a look for yourself what you think has changed. My Adam's apple is definitely not really that visible, but I can feel it. It has definitely grown a little, but it is not to a noticeable degree. And now for everybody's favorite part, the part we all love, the voice change. Here you go. Let's play the montage.
Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my voice, Preeti. Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my voice, 1 month on T. Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my voice, 2 months on T. Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my voice, 3 months on T. Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my voice, 4 months on T. Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my voice, 5 months on T. Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my voice, 6 months on T. Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my voice, 7 months on T. Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my voice, 8 months on T. Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my voice, 9 months on T. Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my voice, 10 months on T. Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my voice, 11 months on T. Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my voice, 1 year on T. And this is my voice, Preeti. And this is my voice, 1 year on T.
My voice, I think, dropped relatively quickly. Obviously, there's a massive change between 1 year and Pretty, but I noticed like the tone in my voice, like the graveliness and where it kind of sits. Like you can feel it. It feels different when it drops. I noticed that within like weeks. People could tell that my voice was different within weeks, which was insane. There was a noticeable drop around 3 months, and then by like 6 months, I think it gets to like the range that is more recognizable with my voice now. And that was like the main drop. But my voice is something that doesn't make me dysphoric anymore. I really like it because I did a lot of voice training pretty. I have quite a lot of control of my voice, and I can kind of still make it go deeper, which has been really cool. I've been trying to get into some more online roleplay things, and it means that I can make my voice sound more dramatic and stuff. And I know pretty I was speaking very monotonely all the time because I was just trying to force my voice to be as low as it physically could. Like I was watching back the videos that I put at the start of this. The difference between my voice in the like 2023 clip and the like pretty stuff, there is such a difference, and that's just voice training. But it was making me laugh how completely different it was, and it was just because I was completely and utterly forcing my voice. I very much damaged my voice due to voice training, and it still to this day affects me. So I would not recommend it if you can't do it with a professional, or just be careful because I lost my voice for like 2 weeks and it was never the same. It hurts a lot quicker, it gets very painful. I never really experienced the voice crack thing that badly. If I like was speaking really exaggerated and really excited and quite loud, maybe occasionally my voice would crack, but like I had shockingly little voice crack moments throughout this past year. Like genuinely, it surprised me. My voice just dropped and it kind of worked. It didn't. It wasn't like cracking and squeaking all the time. But I'm also typically quite a soft-spoken person, so I don't know whether that has something to do with it. That I just was not speaking loud enough for my voice to crack. I have no idea, but it's not really something I experience at all, which is kind of crazy because I know that's just a common thing that happens. Also, my singing range. I love singing. Singing is something that always made me like really euphoric, pretty because I worked my range down quite a lot. My singing range took a massive hit, and I haven't really done that much to keep it up throughout being on testosterone. So yeah, it's not the best currently, but it is way down in the like tenor ranges, and it does still make me so euphoric to sing. I love it so much, and I wish I had done more to kind of keep my range. But yeah, I'm excited to maybe get back into doing that a little bit more in the future. Moving on from the head region, the worst change with testosterone for me has been back acne. Genuinely, uh, it's it's just awful. It gets itchy. especially within the past like month as well. It definitely goes through like phases, but it started early and it's just been continuous. But yeah, like all around my back, even like this bit on my chest as well. That's probably just from binding, though. I guess probably the back acne is not made any better by the fact that I bind all the time. Like the back of my arms, like I have to like rotate my testosterone spot occasionally when there's just too many spots. Not a great change. Possibly one of the only ones I would not really want at all. No, not fun. In the same range, my shoulders I think have broadened out a bit. I mean, the fact that I'm wearing this jacket, it's not really the best like show because it does have a little bit more broadness in just the way that it sits. I would say that like my body shape in general has changed barely. I know that's not really like a thing within the first year very much. That's definitely a further down the line sort of change. But I will insert pics here of my comparison photos that I took. I don't think that much has changed other than my shoulders being a bit broader. I also don't know if the comparison pictures are the best because of the like difference in the outfits that I was wearing. These next few are more like general than specific areas of the body. Hot flushes and temperature dysregulation were very bad in the first few months, and especially when it was warmer out in the summer. I was just a lot sweatier. Even now, like it is really cold currently. I live in London. It is freezing. The week, it's just been rain and grey skies. I could sit in my room in a t-shirt and be fine. I tend to wear a hoodie just because it's more cozy, but I'm definitely get hotter a lot easier. And the general one is strength increase. I really don't work out very much at all, but I've noticed just in general, even without working out, I definitely feel a lot stronger. I'm able to like walk around more. Um, when I do exercise, I did climbing quite a bit when I first moved to uni. I don't really anymore, but I noticed that that was a lot easier than I expected it to be. Initially getting into it. So yeah, even without working out, I do think my strength has increased a little bit. Other one for within the first few months was hunger. Just constantly hungry for about 3 months. It kicked in literally day one, immediately. I think the day after I started testosterone, I was just hungry. And it kind of randomly appeared for a little bit again around like 9 months. But it's definitely settled down. I think I've just adjusted my diet to it. And also thirstier in the first month. I don't know. I don't know why with that one, but that's something that I noted down. In general, my skin is a lot rougher and drier, especially like on my hands. Like when it started to get cold, I noticed the skin on the back of my hand was cracking a lot more and was just like uncomfortable and red, which is not something I've dealt with before. Um, Also on my hands, they're a lot veinier. You cannot see it really that much now, but if I've been like out and about walking and got the blood pumping, my hands in general are like, I think my fingers have gotten wider. It's more masculine in general, but I realized some of my rings were getting too small for me, which is kind of crazy. Like quite a lot of my rings are like adjustable, like this one. So it doesn't really matter, but there is one that I've had for a really long time that I'm scared will get stuck if I put it on. They're also hairier. My camera will not focus well enough for you to see it, but there is just like a random strip of hair up the side of my hand. The rest of it hasn't really filled in. Like over time, it's just got like a couple extra hairs, but there's just one little strip on both hands that is hairier than the rest of it, which is really funny. And talking about hair everywhere, hair in places that you didn't know could grow hair. It's definitely one of the main changes of testosterone, and it's written in capitals on my little list. Yeah, just continuously growing. Starts pretty much immediately. My legs, specifically, like my lower legs. I will put pictures here. Happy trail as well. even butt hair. Yeah, that's something quite a lot of people talk about with testosterone because it's not something you'd ever expect. But yeah, hair literally everywhere, growing like crazy. It is insane. Anytime I'm like, there could not possibly be more hair, there is. There just is. It just appears. I don't. Where is it coming from? God knows. Getting on to the last few. These changes are a bit more TMI, but I thought I would include them. Piss smell. Yes. Something that changes and gets a lot stronger. Probably the reason why men's bathrooms always smell absolutely awful. It's something that is like really odd that changes. That you would just not expect. And it changed around like 3 months, I think. And also my period. My period has not gone away. Not yet, at least. That will probably be the main point of discussion in my gender clinic appointment. Whether I need to switch to injections for that to go or start on some type of like hormone blocker thing. But it has been absolutely trolling me this past year. My period has always been a really not regular, but it kind of settled down for starting testosterone. And then I started testosterone, and sometimes it has been like weeks late, sometimes it's been literally like 3 days barely there, and other times it's been like heavy for like a week. I don't understand what's going on with it, but it just cannot make its mind up whether it's disappearing or whether it's here. In general, it's a lot like less intense than it was pretty, but it is just really annoying. I don't want it. It can go away very happily. So I guess we'll see what the solution to that is after I've had that appointment. Moving on to emotional changes. Pretty, my mental health was not great. I was in and out of therapy for like 3 years. At the end of school, that's including a little bit whilst I was on testosterone. But with a school therapist, that is absolutely one of the best decisions that I made when I was like younger and starting out in my transition. It was definitely needed, and my therapist was absolutely amazing and was really knowledgeable on like trans people and cared a lot. I had a really positive experience with therapy. I am no longer in therapy because I've moved. I finished school and moved to uni, and it's just not been something I've felt like I've needed to set back up. Yeah, which in and of itself is like incredible. I remember being absolutely terrified stopping therapy, that everything would just go back to being awful. But with starting testosterone and stuff, that has taken away such a huge chunk of my dysphoria. And it has made just living a lot more bearable. I'm a lot more confident in myself and my identity. I am a lot more open to playing around with random things about my gender identity. I have never really identified as like strictly male. um, my gender's always been a little bit funky, but I'd say it's definitely gone on the end of slightly more androgynous recently. I identify as trans masc. I've never really identified as non-binary. I think I did very briefly, but I guess technically my gender was within that range. It's just not a label I tend to use. I've been definitely finding my style recently and having the confidence to just express myself in that way. I no longer really care about passing. I will probably pass regardless of like what I do because of my voice now. So I'm just having fun with it. Genuinely, I'm having fun. Like different expressions. This is a jacket I designed myself. It has a massive star on the back. Hold up. Um, yeah, I've been making clothes a little bit more. I've just been messing around with things, and it has been really fun. I've been really enjoying it. I think that is something younger me would be really happy about knowing, because I always looked at people with more like alternative clothing styles and who were happy to mess around with their gender identity, wear things, do things that are not like stereotypically within kind of the masculine range. It has been really nice. I'm a lot more confident talking to people. I was a very silent person, pretty. I'm still very shy. I still have social anxiety, but it's no longer kind of amplified by dysphoria. Occasionally, very occasionally, I will say something in a certain way, or I'll be anxious about a conversation and my voice will come out higher than I expected it to. And that is annoying and does make me dysphoric. But for the most part, like, my voice has dramatically improved my ability to socialize, to make content, to just feel more comfortable being myself. I definitely feel a lot more like me and like aligned to the person that I always knew that I was. I think one of the things I discussed in the opening of this video was feeling like this is like such a big milestone. And while yes, it is, for me, how I am now, a year into Testosterone, it feels like how it always should have been. Like, this doesn't feel like anything like absolutely crazy and insane. Whoa, I like completely new and different. This just feels like normal, like how it should have been, like the entire time, and how it should be for like all trans people. They should just be able to have access to this easily and be able to experience this and honestly make their own decisions for their own body without having to pay loads or explain themselves constantly. But unfortunately, that is not the case. When I first started, within the first like 3 months, my emotions became incredibly intense. I have always really struggled with emotions and feeling them and being able to pinpoint what I'm actually feeling and like, I don't know, like experience emotions in a way. Uh Maybe possibly autism. That's something I've looked into, but I'm not diagnosed, so I can't say for certain. But it has been something that I've always struggled with, and I think I was just about kind of getting to the point of figuring that out when I saw turn, and all of a sudden my emotions were really intense and overwhelming, and I had no idea what to do with it. Like, in some ways, it was really nice, like, as well as the like sad stuff and just feeling so, I wouldn't say like so much worse, but like actually feeling like properly feeling like sadness and things. I also felt so much more joy. It goes both ways. So it was nice in a way to kind of have that, and I still think my emotions are more intense now than they were pretty. I have also done so much more work into being able to understand them and understand how I'm feeling and express that. Then I think that kind of reverted a bit around 4 months. Got the very classic testosterone change of struggling to cry around like 4 months as well, when the changes started like slowing down a bit. My dysphoria got worse. And then it got better again around month 6, and then it got worse again around like 9 months. I think whenever the changes kind of slowed down, I was like, eh. Like, there wasn't as much just like really cool things to be like, oh, that's new, that's fun. And now a year in, like looking at the comparison between like a year ago, genuinely the difference is like crazy. And my dysphoria is so much better. The only thing that really makes me dysphoric now is my chest, and I bind all the time, try and manage that, which is not a good thing. Don't do that. I know it's easier said than done. Top surgery is definitely a thing I'm looking towards in the near future. It's just whenever I can afford it, honestly. Being a uni student in London is not cheap, let me just say that. I said it at the start and I'll say it again. This is genuinely the best decision I have ever made. Zero regrets. When I first had my gender psychologist appointment, one of the things she asked me near the end is there anything you think you might regret about like this process? And my answer was just like a zero hesitation no, and that did get a laugh, but I would stick by that. I This is something that I wanted since I was like 14, and I have absolutely no reason to regret it. It has dramatically improved my life in so many ways. and I am so grateful that I got this opportunity, because I think like 14-year-old me didn't expect to even be here. Didn't expect to make it to the point where I could even start testosterone. So now I'm kind of at this point where I'm like, whoa, what do I do with my life? I never kind of thought this far ahead, if you know what I mean. That is something I would say to all the younger trans people out there. If you're watching this, kind of hoping to start testosterone yourself or waiting for that, because most of the time you have to be 18 to start, and that can be a really long way away. It does get better. You will get there, and it will be amazing, and it does get so much better. And I know the world sucks currently. The climate we live in is quite hostile towards our community, but you got this. Hang in there. And if you're like looking to start testosterone but you're nervous about it, or you're not quite sure if it's what you want, one, take as much time as you need. There's absolutely no rush to these things. But also, just do it. If it's something that you've been thinking about for a long time and that you're uncomfortable about who you are currently and your body and you're dysphoric, I promise you it helps so much. There is a reason why medical transition is the solution to gender dysphoria. Like, this is genuinely life-saving care that should be available to everybody who wants it. Yeah, so if you're concerned that it won't make any difference for you and you're not sure if you want to go ahead of it, genuinely, it has made such a big difference for me. And there is such a stark difference between my mental health and my confidence pretty and now, and I'm sure that will only continue to grow within the coming years as I get further and further into my journey, and those changes that take place over longer periods of time start happening. But yeah, I am just so glad to be here, to have gotten the chance to do this, because I know it's not something that is available to everybody who needs it. Now I'm gonna move on to NSFW changes. If you know me personally, I recommend clicking off now or skipping to this timestamp. Also, if you don't want to hear about these types of things, also skip to that timestamp. This is not going to be a very detailed section. This is kind of where my line gets drawn of the things I want to share on the internet. But there is one thing, bottom growth, which I think is really important to talk about in these, because it is such a big change from testosterone. It's also something that starts immediately. For me, it's been very like continuous, kind of slow going throughout the year, but it does start pretty much immediately. For me, it's had periods of being more sensitive and annoying than others. I haven't found it that bad. I think it's like the first few months and a little bit in the past few months that I've noticed it. Other than that, it hasn't really bothered me. And I personally like my bottom growth. I feel like it feels different enough from like what I had previously that it has improved my dysphoria in that area. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. I would recommend looking into it a little bit if you're about to start testosterone, just to be aware of the changes. And also, there is a lot more people online who will talk a lot more about other NSFW changes and more in depth about bottom growth. If you're interested, I very much recommend going and watching somebody who is more comfortable talking about these things on the internet. Thank you guys so much for watching these videos and for supporting me over the past years. You guys' comments genuinely mean the world to me. Every time I get a comment from somebody saying that I've helped them with something, or that they like enjoy my content, or they're coming out or something like that, it's genuinely like so heartwarming. This community is great. Trans community has always been so uplifting and so loving, and they're genuinely great. I will forever fight for this community's rights to access to healthcare, for just general human rights, and I really, really hope that the world's view of us gets less hostile very soon, because there are so many amazing people and nobody deserves what is currently going on in the world. I'm trying to get involved in more trans advocacy stuff. I did a talk in a college accommodation in London back in November. It was so much fun. Like, genuinely, it was a panel talk with some others that I've never met before. I hadn't met anybody there before, and it was crazy. And I talked about my experiences a lot. It was for Trans Days Remembrance. We held a little visual outside afterwards, and it's stuff like that, that connecting with the community and also being able to talk to cis people who want to understand a lot more about us. Like, it's something that I'm always interested in, I'm always involved with. So if anybody knows any good trans advocacy opportunities around London, or around Manchester for when I'm back home between uni times, if there's anything I can get involved with, I would absolutely love it. I have no idea where to start. That opportunity that I was given was just really random through uni, for a uni group chat. I have no idea how I got involved in that, honestly. I just saw a message and decided to respond to it. So yeah, I am definitely looking to do more advocacy work. This channel, the testosterone updates kind of stop here, and I'll upload one every like 6 months to a year, depending on if there's anything I want to add. Also, I talked about top surgery earlier, and hopefully that will be something that's coming up soon that I will also post here. So if you want to keep up with my transition, I would recommend subscribing, sticking around if you enjoy it and you want to see more. I will try to put some other content here. I'm not quite sure what yet. I have some old Reddit reaction videos that have like continuously gotten views since like 2 years ago when they were posted. So I might go back to doing some more of that stuff. If you want to see more of me in general, I have gaming channels on YouTube and Twitch. You can find me there. My username is Pandastra on pretty much every other social. This is my second channel. It happens to have overtaken my main. But yeah, if you just want to see more of me, you can come ask questions either in the comments of this channel, or if I'm live on Twitch, feel free to come and ask questions on there. I will definitely chat to you. I know some people who have found me through this channel have come over there, and it's always lovely to see you. I have a Discord. If you want to talk to more trans people, there's a lot of them, or just my community in general is amazing. But let me know if there's any other content you want to see here. I have been doing clothing making, just general vlogs and stuff if you're interested in other things, information about the trans community. I do want to keep posting on this. I think because the testosterone updates have been every month, I rarely have time to make more than just that. But I'm hoping this will continue as a channel that has my like trans advocacy work through it. Fingers crossed. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate your support. Bye bye.